Hello everyone, my name is Ark and welcome back to another SH Figuarts review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 2B from Nier Automata. Now, this figure was supposed to release last month worldwide, at least for Big Bad Toy Store, but it got pushed back a month, so it is now just getting to me. So I am finally glad I got her in my hands, because I really wanted this figure, especially since the moment she was announced. Now, this is the first out of the two figures that are in the line so far, and honestly, I'm not expecting that many, because there is not that many important characters or memorable characters from the series. But yeah, now that I have her here, let's get right into taking a look at her. No. Alright, so here we have 2B in all of her beauty. She stands at a whopping 5 3/4 of an inch. So I think that's a pretty good height. Right here I have Launch, and also I have Kugisaki Nobara. Just as a comparison, and I'm actually shocked as to how tall she is. Granted, she is very tall in the series from the looks, but it's quite surprising that compared to other female characters, even Launch is the shortest one out of them all, but compared to others, she stands very tall. Granted, she does have a bigger packaging than both of these, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, that's besides the point. Now, this 2B, a lot of people, at least from what I saw, some of the discourse online, is that she doesn't look as accurate to the games. And I get that, because this one is mainly based on the anime. The anime did release, I believe, early last year or late 2022. I don't remember. I'm going to put a image somewhere over here, but that's the anime. So the anime came out and then these were announced, so I think the proportions for her are more based on the anime. And so far, just taking a look at her, she looks absolutely stunning. I think she looks really good in terms of just everything. But yeah, like I think they were able to capture a bunch of the aesthetic of the character very well. She has her little mole on the bottom of her chin, or on the side of her chin, and then she's a very sort of simplistic character, but I'm glad of how they were able to capture her overall. Something to note is that these little sections on the side of the arm are hard plastic. If you want to focus, please. These sections on the side of the arm, I don't know, the sleeves, I'm just going to call them sleeves, are hard plastic instead of soft plastic, unlike the skirt. The skirt is very much soft plastic, so I think that's really nice. And then, of course, the high boots are very much just a gloss jet black, I would say. So she looks absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. Something that I saw a lot of people also mention is the ass. She is fully cheeked up on I believe this is going to be released on a Tuesday, so on a Tuesday afternoon. So that is good. But yeah, so far she looks absolutely beautiful. She has the heels and everything, but this is all about the character. So, how does she fare in terms of articulation? In terms of articulation, I haven't gone through anything myself off camera, so this is like my first time doing it. So, in terms of the head, let's see the head. She's able to look down pretty decently, and I think that's pretty decent. And look up, and not so much, but she's able to kind of go up above a little bit, but that's fine. Not much of an issue there. Granted, based on the size of this figure, there is probably going to be a lot of limitations in terms of the articulation. So I'm not going to knock it down because of that. At least that much. The arms, the butterfly joints, I think, in terms of the butterfly joint, I think she does pretty well. Again, she is a very small, and I did that. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, so crisis adverted. So yeah, that could be an issue that could happen with the butterfly joint of just popping out. Again, it's really just because of how this figure was constructed for sure. In terms of the head, as we already saw, she can barely move her head all the way up, and there is a big reason, mainly because of the hair kind of obstructing the peg of the neck, and she also has a very tiny, very tiny. I'm pretty sure that's a ball hinge peg, if I'm correct. Or no, it's not even a hinge or a double ball peg. It's just a ball peg. Where you can just move the head side to side. Not much forward or backwards, but again, a very small torso. I'm pretty sure I still have Launch here. It's smaller than Launch, which is quite surprising. And of course, Launch doesn't have. I think Launch would have the same issues if she had a postable neck, but she doesn't. So again, a lot of differences there. In terms of the torso, she is able to kind of crunch really well, ab crunch really well, and then backwards, very good as well. So that's definitely going to help her out in the postability aspect. In terms of being able to take it off, yes, you can take it off. Okay, so I'm not going to do that so far. In terms of the legs, oh god, let me fix this. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So yes, you can take off the skirt. If you were wondering, you maniacs. But in the legs, she does have a soft, as I mentioned, a soft skirt, soft plastic skirt, which is really nice. I think it looks pretty decent. I don't know why this should have just been connected, but sure. In terms of the kick motion, she's able to kick all the way forward very well. Holy crap. Okay, you can get that that much motion. Holy, oh my god. Okay, that's really good. Holy crap. That's full high-on kicks. Jeebus. And of course, the back, you can't really move it because of the butt cheek being there, but it's you gain some movement in the front, but you lose some of them in the back, which is, I guess, fine. In terms of the knee, I think it looks pretty good, actually. I think the hinge. Is this a... No, it's just one. It's just a single hinge, which is nice. So yeah, I think it looks really good. Granted, it looks pretty seamless in my opinion. Mainly because it's actually just plastic, molded plastic all the way through and not painted. That's really nice. Whenever there's paint going over molded plastic and then just molded plastic pieces by themselves, which is mostly the joints most of the time, they tend to look off a little bit. The boot, the feet at least, she does have high heels, and you can move them forward, backwards, and not side to side. Again, because of the very kind of thin frame of this figure. I didn't look at the arms. The arms, they are actually pretty decent. They are able to do pretty much everything that an arm can do. And of course, you have the hand motion is a little bit restricted because of how they made it, but I don't see much of an issue. I do think that the price of this figure is quite something that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, I think she so far looks good. There are some things that could have been improved, maybe. I don't know much about that type of stuff, but yeah, I do wish some of the different sections were a little bit better than others, but there's only so much you can do with a character like this. But yeah, besides that, let's go right into the accessories. Alright, so for the accessories of 2B, I do think she comes with quite a decent amount. Granted, they are kind of similar to what other figures have, in a sense, a little bit less sometimes, but 2B does come with 4 different faceplates besides the one that she originally has on her figure. She comes with Pod, her little pod friend, the sword, and 2 different sets of hands and an additional hand for glory to mankind. Saluting type of stuff. So taking a look at the different faceplates, she has a very neutral expression right here. If I can get the focus on it. There we go. A very neutral expression. I think they did a really good job, especially with the eyes, getting that amount of detail in it. I think it looks stunning. Kind of hopping onto this one, the third one right here. She has a very soft expression where she has her eyes closed. Again, absolutely stunning. Come on, camera, don't lose focus. Thank you. So I think these look really good so far, especially for this figure. She does, in addition, with another addition to the maskless faceplates, she has a shouting motion where she does have the lipstick as well. So I think that's also a really nice inclusion that they decided to keep. If I can get better focus of it, just ignore the back, please. No, whatever, I can't really get a focus, but they look really good. And for another blindfolded facial expression, then she does have the again, shouting expression, but with the blindfold, which I think it's a really nice inclusion. Not just giving us one blindfolded, just the base blindfold, which is really nice again. And with Pod is like a little bit of a whole different figure in itself, because he is able to bend and everything. So I think that's really nice that they did that. I was wondering whenever I was looking at the promotional pictures if he was going to be articulated, and I'm glad that they did end up doing that. I don't know if the top doesn't move, so he can't move side to side, but he can move his arms up and about. So I think that's really nice. The sword, in terms of the quality, is just a regular sword. It's pretty sturdy, actually, not as flimsy as I thought it was going to be, but I think the detail on the sword is really good. Very small details all around, and I'm glad that they were able to capture all of these very well. So the sword looks beautiful. The hands, again, they look amazing. She has kind of like 2 hands of motion where she's like charging against someone. She has 2 different hands to hold the sword, both left and right, which is nice that they included that. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the hand for saluting glory to mankind. Very sort of simplistic hands, not as simplistic as the Dragon Ball ones, but they look really nice. There is one more accessory that she comes with, and that's actually going to lead me to my final thoughts. Alright, so as a final look at the accessories, 2B does include a flight stand for her to pose alongside her pod, which I think is really nice that they included this, because not a lot of figures nowadays include them. If I recall correctly, the most recent release that has a stand to help them just balance themselves is Yamato, and even then her stand is not really the greatest. But it's nice that they included this for her. Besides that, kind of segueing into my final thoughts for this figure, I think she looks great. I think the aesthetic of her character was translated very well into the figure, especially from the anime, which is mainly what this was based about. And I'm just overall kind of just gushing for how good she looks, really, pretty much. You may call me a simp, but I will take it. But yeah, as an overall final score, I'm probably going to give her a 9 out of 10. The reason I'm doing this, and really the only reason I'm not giving her a full 10 out of 10, because I would, in my opinion, is the price. The price is she's very expensive. She's I believe on a $90, I think. And she is just very expensive. Granted, she does come with a lot of stuff. She does come with the flight stand and everything. But I think they could lower that price down maybe to 80, and I think at that point it would be fairly reasonable. I think the articulation for this figure is really well done. The only downside is just the head not being able to move up and down that much. And yeah, there really isn't much else to say for me about this figure besides that she is just a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. But yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna call it off. So if you have this figure, let me know what you guys think. Do you have this figure? Do you enjoy it? Did you like the assets that she comes with, especially with how big they made them? But yeah, that's besides the point. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.